Biggest news coming out of here today, Anthony Richardson, right? Chris Ballard, comes out, and they say they're going to give Anthony Richardson the permission to seek a trade.
The NFL rumor mill exploded when reports surfaced that the Indianapolis Colts could be open to trading Anthony Richardson. For a quarterback drafted to be the long-term face of the franchise, even the possibility of a trade immediately raised questions about the team's confidence in him. This was not supposed to happen this quickly. Richardson entered the league as one of the most physically gifted quarterback prospects in years. The Colts understood he would need time to develop, but the expectation was clear. He was the future. Teams do not invest high draft capital in quarterbacks unless they believe that player can eventually lead the franchise. So when trade rumors began circulating, analysts immediately started asking why.
And the Colts have given Anthony Richardson permission to seek a trade. Richardson was the 4th overall pick in the NFL draft just 3 years ago, but only saw the field for 2 games this past season, with Daniel Jones taking over as the starter.
Some insiders believe the rumors reflect frustration inside the organization. Richardson's development has not been smooth. Injuries limited his availability, and inconsistency raised questions about how quickly he could become a reliable starter. For a team trying to compete in a tough division, waiting several seasons for development can be difficult. Others think the rumors may simply reflect the way the modern NFL works. Teams constantly evaluate their options, especially at quarterback. If the front office believes another opportunity exists to improve the roster, they will explore it. But the reaction across the league shows how surprising this situation is. Moving on from a quarterback this early would be a massive admission that the original plan did not work. It would also send a message about how impatient teams have become with developing young quarterbacks.
Well, here's the conundrum for me.
Yeah.
He's not good enough to play this year, right now.
Right.
We hope he is one day.
Right, not a starter.
But who has the reps to give him to get to that place, but they're not going to play him?
That's the spot we're in with Anthony Richardson. That's the problem.
Like, who can walk that line?
Right now, nothing has been finalized. These are still rumors, not confirmed decisions. But even the possibility of a trade has created a major storyline. Because if the Colts are already reconsidering their franchise quarterback, it changes the entire direction of the organization.
All right, over the last half hour, news breaking about Anthony Richardson here being allowed to look for a new place of business. What do you know about that?
That was probably inevitable, I would say. 3 years in, all the injuries, the really unfortunate circumstance last year where a resistance band accident in pregame warm-up.
When the Indianapolis Colts selected Anthony Richardson in the first round, the decision represented a commitment to a long-term plan. The franchise believed it had found a quarterback with rare physical tools and enormous upside. Richardson's profile as a prospect was unique. Few quarterbacks entering the league possess his combination of size, strength, and athletic ability. He had the ability to throw deep passes with ease, while also being a dangerous runner. For offensive coordinators, that kind of versatility creates opportunities to design creative and unpredictable offenses. But Richardson was never viewed as a finished product. Scouts consistently described him as a developmental quarterback. His arm talent and athleticism were elite, but his experience and consistency needed improvement. The Colts understood that selecting him meant investing time and patience into his development. The organization believed that investment would eventually pay off.
And not just getting healthy, staying healthy. That's the issue. That's been one of his bigger Achilles heel, the inability to stay on the football field. And then when he's on the football field, just being consistent. So I'm not surprised. You talked about potential teams.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
but
I'm
I
not
want to
surprised.
ask you, Rand.
Richardson's playing style had the potential to transform the Colts' offense. A quarterback who can threaten defenses both through the air and on the ground forces defensive coordinators to adjust their entire game plan. In theory, that kind of dual threat ability creates explosive plays and opens opportunities for other players. That vision is why the Colts chose him. They were not simply drafting a quarterback, they were drafting a long-term project with superstar potential. Which is exactly why the current rumors feel so dramatic. because if the Colts are already reconsidering that decision, it suggests the development process may not be going as planned. And in the NFL, expectations move quickly.
Expect him to be back. Anthony Richardson has received permission to seek a trade.
Yes.
And not long after that surfaced, Cameron Wolfe of NFL Network reported that the Colts and the Vikings.
The biggest obstacle in Anthony Richardson's early career has not been talent, it has been availability and consistency. Richardson's playing style naturally exposes him to more physical contact than traditional pocket quarterbacks. Because he uses his mobility as a weapon, defenders have more opportunities to deliver hits. Over time, those hits increase the risk of injuries. Early in his career, that risk became a real issue. Missed games slowed Richardson's development. Quarterbacks improve through repetition, practice, and in-game experience. When injuries interrupt that process, the learning curve becomes much steeper. Instead of building momentum week after week, Richardson had to repeatedly restart his progress. That disruption affects both the player and the team. Offensive systems rely heavily on rhythm and timing. When a quarterback misses games, the offense loses continuity. Coaches are forced to adjust the game plan, and teammates must adapt to different playing styles depending on who is under center. In addition to injuries, Richardson's performance showed typical signs of a developing quarterback. There were moments where his physical talent created spectacular plays, but there were also stretches where decision-making and accuracy needed improvement. Those inconsistencies are not unusual for young quarterbacks.
Good fit for him would be Baltimore. And because we know where Lamar is in his years of contract or years of service. You're looking at me crazy.
I'm gonna let you finish your point.
Because I'm gonna bring it home for you here in a second. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here I go. Because I think you need to take advantage of what Anthony Richardson does well. And you look at the backup situation in Baltimore.
However, in a league where results are closely monitored every week, even normal developmental struggles can create pressure. That pressure is what makes the current rumors possible. Because when development takes longer than expected, teams begin asking difficult questions. Whenever a young quarterback struggles early in his career, the discussion inevitably shifts toward coaching and organizational structure. In the case of Anthony Richardson, many analysts believe the situation raises questions about whether the Indianapolis Colts created the right environment for development. Quarterback development rarely happens in isolation. Successful young quarterbacks usually benefit from stable coaching staffs, clear offensive systems, and consistent long-term planning. When those elements change frequently, progress becomes much more difficult. Richardson entered the league as a player who needed time. His physical athleticism was elite, but his experience reading complex defenses was still developing. That meant the Colts needed a patient and structured plan focused on gradual improvement. Critics argue that the organization may not have fully committed to that approach. Young quarterbacks often struggle when they are expected to deliver immediate results. Instead of focusing on long-term growth, teams sometimes react to short-term performance. That can lead to adjustments in strategy that interrupt development. Supporters of Richardson believe the Colts should remain committed to the original plan. They argue that quarterbacks with Richardson's physical tools are rare, and giving up too soon could become a major mistake. Others believe the team simply cannot afford to wait.
Get him ready a little bit? Okay, maybe. And, that's where, where does that happen? Could he go up to, let's just say, Buffalo and sit behind Josh Allen and maybe some other veteran type of quarterback, because I know Mitch Trubisky's free.
Yeah.
And then be there and kind of be the 2-3 whatever, right? You know what I mean?
In the NFL, patience is limited. Coaches and executives are judged by wins and losses, not long-term potential. If the Colts truly believe Richardson's development will take several more years, they may decide to explore other options. And that is exactly why these trade rumors are generating so much attention. The moment reports surfaced that the Indianapolis Colts might consider trading Anthony Richardson, the conversation across the NFL shifted from development to value. The key question became simple. If Richardson is actually available, which teams would take the risk?
quarterback at a high level. It's also the reality of Anthony Richardson knows he has no path to be the starter in Indianapolis again.
Even with Daniel Jones having an Achilles injury that may or may not have him ready in week 1?
Everything is tracking toward Daniel Jones being ready for week 1.
Okay.
The Colts have been in negotiations on a contract.
Quarterbacks with Richardson's physical profile rarely become available this early in their career. At 6'4", over 240 pounds, with elite athletic ability and one of the strongest arms in the league, Richardson still represents a type of quarterback many franchises spend years searching for. That alone guarantees interest if the Colts seriously explore trade options. For some teams, Richardson would be a long-term project rather than an immediate solution. Organizations that are rebuilding or reshaping their offensive identity may see him as a quarterback they can develop without immediate pressure. In that scenario, Richardson could spend time learning behind a veteran starter while coaches refine his mechanics and decision-making.
To the conversation between Kevin O'Connell and Anthony Richardson.
Hey, do me a favor and remember something.
Okay.
You're a bad dude.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to play a long time in this league.
Yes, sir.
All right? Go to work every day. Good things will happen for you. I still believe in you. I know these guys do. Shane does too.
Yes, sir.
And this organization loves you. Go
Yes,
to
sir.
work.
Appreciate that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, always.
Others may see a more aggressive opportunity. A coaching staff confident in its offensive system might believe it can unlock Richardson's potential faster than Indianapolis has. Offensive schemes built around mobility, play action, and designed quarterback runs could allow him to maximize his strengths while gradually improving his weaknesses. However, trading for Richardson would also involve risk. Any team making that move would need to invest significant resources in development. That includes coaching attention, offensive design adjustments, and patience while the quarterback continues to learn. This is why the debate is so intense. Some analysts believe Richardson's physical talent makes him worth the gamble. Others believe the uncertainty surrounding his development makes the price too high. If the Colts truly open the door to trade discussions, the league will immediately begin calculating whether that gamble is worth taking. The debate surrounding Anthony Richardson has become one of the most polarizing discussions in football. Is he a quarterback who has already failed to meet expectations, or a player whose potential has barely been explored? Those who remain optimistic focus on Richardson's physical tools. His arm strength allows him to make throws that very few quarterbacks in the league can attempt. Combined with his size and speed, he can stress defenses in multiple ways. Defenders must respect both the passing game and the possibility that Richardson could escape the pocket and create explosive plays with his legs. In today's NFL, that kind of dual threat ability has become extremely valuable. Modern offensive systems often rely on quarterbacks who can extend plays and create mismatches against defenses.